Welcome to the Fatherhood Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Pluff. Each week, we will cover various topics that dads struggle with in their fitness journey. I'll give you actionable steps that you can apply right away, not only to take back control of your own health, but so you're able to be a better example for your kids too.
All right, welcome in. Happy 2026. This is the first episode of the year, and today I want to talk about a conversation I had with a client the other day. So I've been working with this client now for a little over 3 months. It's been about 3 or 4 months now, and over this time, they've been doing a really great job with their workouts. They've been doing an excellent job with their workouts. They've been moving quite a bit. Their step goal not really a concern. And when we started working together, their main goal was weight loss. And so there's obviously, different things you can measure success by, but for them, the number on the scale is pretty important to them. They've been trying to lose weight for a long time, and they just haven't been able to get there. So we've been working together for about 3 or 4 months now, and they like I said, they've done a really great job working out regularly. Started doing just being more aware of how much they're moving, tracking their food, and doing a lot of things right. Now, their weight from the time we've started to the time to now has been relatively the same. It's fluctuated a little bit. They've hit a new low here. It's kind of gone back up, but they've stayed about the same. And we had a conversation the other day about, I told them, I was pretty upfront with them. I said, if you, a year from now, if you kept doing the same things you're doing today, I can, within, 2 or 3 pounds, I can predict your weight. And it sounds like a bad thing. But it's actually a really good thing, because what they've proven is that what they're doing right now has allowed them to maintain. They've done a really good job at maintaining, which is awesome. It sounds like, if you don't have the context of it, you're like, well, I don't want to maintain. And so that's where they're at right now. But if you hit your weight loss goal and you found out how to maintain your current weight, that's great. Now you can sustain that. But they obviously haven't gotten to where they wanted to yet. And a lot of times what happens is people, fluctuate. They lose 10 pounds, they gain 5. They lose 5 pounds, they gain 10 pounds. And they're just constantly, cycling through. This client in particular has done a really good job at maintaining where they're at. The amount of workouts they're doing, the amount of steps they're doing, how much they're eating has all been very consistent. And so their weight has stayed the same. There's not a huge fluctuation. 2 to 3 pounds, 4 pounds tops. That's normal for even somebody who's maintaining their weight when they've gotten to their goal. And so that isn't the issue. The issue is that something has to change or nothing's going to change. And obviously that sounds very simple, but for them, they've been logging all their food, but they haven't necessarily been logging it accurately. And so let's just say, for example, you're logging, maybe you buy something from the store, you pick up, maybe a rotisserie chicken and some potatoes and corn and things like that. You've got mashed potatoes, and you scoop out some mashed potatoes, and then you log that as 200 calories. Okay. And so you're kind of guesstimating there, and no big deal there. You can obviously estimate on certain things, but let's say, for instance, that was actually 400 calories, and the chicken you logged as 200 calories was actually 250 calories, and the corn was 100 and you logged it as 50, and so on and so forth like that. Not that big a deal, each individual item, not that big a deal at all. But when you add all those up, that's enough to knock you out of a deficit, and now you're in to maintenance. And so that can be really frustrating, because you're doing all the right things. You're working out consistently. You're getting enough movement in throughout the day. You're even logging your food, the one thing that you may not really want to do right now. You're even logging your food, and you're still not seeing results. But a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, when I see a client who is quote unquote doing all the right things, but they're not seeing the results they want, is because they're not logging accurately. And so, one, portion size, if you can get a food scale, if you can measure out, get some, get a half a cup, get all your, all your measuring cups and things like that. And then we're logging everything. Even if you have, a couple scoops of, something in the evening for a snack, or maybe you took a couple bites of your kids' meals. These are typically the things that knock somebody out of a deficit. And if you're only in, a 400 to 500 calorie deficit, that is very easy to get knocked out of by things that, you probably really don't even think too much about, right? You're not thinking about those bites that, your kids didn't finish their dinner. And so, you ate a couple chicken nuggets, and maybe you had a bite of ice cream, and, all these little small things, but all the little small things add up. And, I don't want you to keep struggling. I don't want you to keep, doing the same thing over and over again, because it gets extremely frustrating. And so if you're doing all the right things, you're logging your food, you're getting your workouts in, you're getting your steps in, you're going for walks regularly, you're watching what you eat, you're trying to get enough sleep every night, and you're still not seeing results, look at your nutrition first. How accurately are you measuring? How accurately are you tracking it? Because 9 times out of 10, this is going to be the issue. And if there's one habit that you adopt this year, make it tracking your food for 30 days. Just do it for the rest of this month. We've got 3 weeks left this month. Track it, every single day, and do it accurately. And the more you do it, so it's going to be uncomfortable at first. You're going to feel like, oh, this takes a lot of time. I got to put it in my MyFitnessPal or whatever app you use. I got to weigh it, I got to measure it. But once you do it once, it's already in there. You just add it the next time and just change the weights depending on what it is. But I promise you, this one habit alone is going to help you see great results this year.
That concludes this episode of the Fatherhood Fitness Podcast. Thank you for those of you who took time out of your busy schedules to listen. If you have any questions or comments or an idea for a topic for a future episode, please feel free to reach out, and I'd love to hear from you.